Today, I wanted to respond to a video made about a video I made. I mean, it gets kind of crazy out here on YouTube. I don't want to mispronounce the gentleman's name. I'll put it in the description or the title of this video. Because I still don't know what exactly I'm going to title this video, but I wanted to respond and I wanted to say, number one, thank you for bringing some things to my attention, because I have stuff in my head and my communication isn't that great, and I can come off as arrogant and I can come off as, like a know-it-all. And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that I still don't know how to communicate properly. This is why I make videos every single day. So, I appreciate the attention, because I don't get a lot of attention over here on my channel. So I appreciate that. But it sounds like you kind of want to fight. I'm not gonna give you a fight. I'm actually gonna pray for you, because for you to make a 30-minute video after I made a 10-minute video on my video, I get it. You have a fan base and a business designed around something that I was talking negative against. In this case, it was kettlebells and kettlebell training. And I've made a sensational type of title for the video because I just am trying to get people's attention so that I can share my point of view. I don't have any products to sell. Even if you wanted to train with me, I don't do online training. I don't have anything behind me. So I get it. You have to protect what your bottom line is. You have to protect your business. So I understand where you're coming from. But I'm going to be honest, I didn't watch the whole video. It's very, very hard for me to watch grown men talking crap against grown men and all these things. And maybe your points were valid, but I really stand by what I say, except for the fact that the way that I said it and my communication, and maybe I said things that didn't really make sense because I tend to ramble like I'm doing right now. And I really do want to pray for you, because it sounds like I struck a nerve, and really we should be able to stand by the things that we say. And I'm going to stand by everything that I said in those videos, because it's not my opinion. It's just simple physics. I'm just relaying information on things. The way that I go about it, yeah, I can do better. I can apologize for that. I need to do better in regard to sounding like a know-it-all. I think I said something in there like, I've done it all. I haven't done it all. I've done a lot of stuff, and I've done a lot of kettlebell training, and you can get fit doing anything, but that's besides the point. People have comments, I started doing kettlebells at this age and they changed my life. I'm not saying that you can't get fit doing these things. You can't get strong doing these things. I'm just saying that it's not optimal given the risk that is there. One of the things that I did see in the video is he said something about me saying being efficient. And I think we're talking about two different things. So I wanted to see, hopefully I can clarify. I'm going to make more videos on this, because I think this is such an important point that they made this comment about it. And it made my point for me, and this is what I'm going to try to explain. He was like, have you ever heard of power lifters? And they're the strongest people, and they move these things, and they get more efficient so that they can move more weight. Exactly. So that they can move more weight. Weightlifting is a byproduct is a means to an end. If you want, again, we're talking about two different things maybe. If you want to build strength and build size, you want to work your muscles. Lifting weights, you can lift weights. You can do it with a barbell, dumbbell, a band, body weight, machine. You can do it, kettlebell, any type of way. Any type of way, you're going to get results. But being efficient, the way that I'm talking about it, means you're going to be doing less work because you're efficient at a movement pattern. Now, you want to be efficient at a certain point. Yeah, you're right. Of course you do it. That's not what we're talking about here. What I'm talking about is if your focus is on moving really well to be efficient at the movement, like a sport, you're not stressing the muscles to the maximum capacity. And if your goal is to build strength and build muscle, that's the whole reason why you're lifting the weight in the first place. The weight is going along for a ride. If I start using momentum and swinging and using my stretch reflex instead of staying in the muscle to do the work, my goal changes from more of a strength sport to a skill-related movement. I can make jumps and I can lift heavier weights, and that might be important, but that's going to happen whether I work on the efficiency side of things with the movement or not. Now, as a trainer, I'd rather spend all my time working on the intensity side of things, gassing the muscle so that I can get the maximum stimulus to get the maximum response. That takes maximum effort. If I'm more efficient at the movement, yeah, I can lift more weight. Yeah, I can do more things, which might be good. We might want to lift more weight. But if the goal is to lift more weight and not to stress the muscle, we're talking about two different things. So maybe again, in my communication, I'm not communicating about what I mean. My goal is not if you're going in to build muscle and to build strength, the goal should not to be to lift as much weight as possible in a certain movement. That's turning things into a strength skill, a strength sport. You need to have enough efficiency about your movement so that you access the right muscles. After that, it's about stressing the muscles, and you want to be inefficient at moving the weight. You want to move slow, and you want to make the muscles go through as much effort as possible. Again, I'm going to make more videos about this, but when I made this click and I started to realize that you actually want to be more inefficient with the movement so that you can get as much stress on the muscle as possible, lots of good things happen. And that's all I'm saying in regard to kettlebells. It's more movement based. You can still get results with this. You can still build strength. You can do all these things with that. I'm not saying that you can't do it. It's just not as effective as you would be doing other things. And so I don't want to sound like kettlebells are not an answer for people. If you enjoy them and you get results with them, go after it. It sounds like this guy, you help a lot of people. You're coming from the right place. But if we're going to talk about the level of risk of something, and then the efficiency factor of as I do something more and more, I'm going to burn less calories if it's a weight loss thing or if it's a burn. That's what I meant by that. It's like you're going to get more efficient at things. Efficiency means you use less work to do the same amount, right? So you're more efficient at doing a movement, means you're not putting as much work in, right? It's less. So you're not going to be stressing the muscles as much. You're not going to be, burning as many calories in that movement. But again, it's a different goal, a different thing when we talk about efficiency in different ways. So what I'm talking about is, again, if the goal is to burn as many calories as possible, which I wouldn't recommend that anyways. I got in trouble with this with the cardio community too, when I talked about it's not an efficient way to lose weight. It does work, it can work, but there's these things that come into play when you do these things for long term. So anyways, what am I getting at here? If you want to stress your muscle, right? We want to be inefficient with movement so that the muscle has to do all the work. If I'm swinging, if I'm snatching, if I'm doing these things and I get really efficient at these movements, then I'm not going to be stressing the muscle as much as I possibly could. And that's the reason why I'm in the gym. So I'm not there to get a workout. I'm there to train muscles. So when we talk about power lifters and we talk about Olympic lifters, of course they have to be efficient at these movements because their goal is to lift as much weight as possible. That's not my goal. That's not most people's goal. If that's your goal, go for it. Go gung ho, right? Lifting more weight is a good idea if you can do it with good technique and you can do it with, safely, right? When you have kettlebells, when you increase speed, when you're working on technique things to get better at this strength skill, you're not then working on the intensity side of things. And that's what I'm getting at is we want to be efficient at loading that muscle so that we can get as much intensity, as much stress on that muscle as possible, get the most stimulus to get the most response. That's what I focus on. And if I'm spending time with my clients focused on building skills versus getting into intensity, yes, I have to focus on the skill of whether it's a body weight exercise, whether that's on a machine, whether that's with dumbbells. I have to do that. I have to. And you're talking about, I think you said something about if you know it all, and these people who are doing these powerlifting and doing Olympic lifting and doing kettlebells, the more they know, the more they know that they don't know. Imagine doing something that you have to get better and better, and you're an expert and you're still working on your skill. That just proves my point. I don't want to be doing that. If I'm in the gym to work my muscles and fatigue my muscles, I don't want to be working on skills. That's not what they're focusing on. If I want to do skills, I'm into a sport. That's not why I'm there. I want to get the job done. It's a means to an end. The weights are just a tool to use so that I can get my goal of building muscle and building strength. There's a million ways of doing that. Kettlebells, barbells, dumbbells, bands, machines. It's just a means to an end. But I'm there to stress my muscles. I can do that safely, or I can do that with more risk. I've never hurt anybody doing kettlebells. I've never gotten hurt myself. You probably have tons of success stories. It's just more risky because of the high speeds. That's all. It's not as risky as Olympic lifting, right? Olympic lifting is high speed and high weight. Kettlebells are less weight overall. I mean, somebody can, clean. I know I can probably clean 225, maybe. I mean, who knows? All right. I'm not going to do it because I don't do those things anymore. But it's like, I can't do a kettlebell swing with 225 pounds. So they're going to be lighter weights, but the high speeds of things, it makes it more risky. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get injured, but I want to minimize risk for my clients. If the goal is to get stronger and work those muscles, I'm going to do that in the safest way possible. And so I get it. I understand where you're coming from. I attack something that makes you money. That's your whole, that's what you do on your channel, and that's what you do in your business, and you sell merch and you do all these things. I get it, dude. All right. I understand. I apologize if I came off arrogant. I apologize if I attacked your thing. I'm in my little corner over here. All right. And I'm just trying to get people's attention. And sometimes I say some stupid stuff, right? I will try to do better. I'm not trying to come off as arrogant. I don't know everything. By all means, I don't know everything. But the principles that I understand, I'm trying to get it from my head out, and I get a lot of it gets lost in translation. So I apologize for my sloppiness. And I'm just here to help people just like you. So I'm praying for you because I know I struck a nerve, and I apologize for that. But maybe this is something that you have to look at in regard to optimization for yourself and for your clients. And if you really care about helping people, like I'm pretty sure you do, then just consider it. All right. It doesn't mean that you have to get rid of kettlebells. They're obviously a great tool for you. They're not a great tool for me because for me, I don't want to spend time working on technique on things like to the nth degree. And then when they become a master, they still have to work on the technique, and they still have to, like, for me, it's a headache, right? Why don't I just get the most bare bones amount of stuff that I can get done so that the person can do the exercise safely? They have the proper form. Now it's all about intensity. Now it's about stressing those muscles because that's where the results come. So for me, for JD, I want to focus on the intensity side of things, building the muscle. I want to find the safest ways of doing that. I just think with the high speeds that kettlebells aren't as safe as other options. Can you get results with them? Yes, of course you can. You can get results doing anything. Doesn't necessarily mean it's as safe as something else, but you can get results with it. So I wish you best of luck. Again, I apologize for being arrogant. I don't know everything, even though maybe I do. No, I'm just kidding. But it's just lost in translation. And I just press record and I talk. Right? I don't have any products to sell. Even if you wanted to train with me, how are you going to find me? You could email me on this thing, but I don't do Zoom stuff. I just work with people in person. So you'd have to live in my area. And even then I've been shortened at my area. So I don't have anything to sell. I don't have any skin in the game. I'm just talking, right? I'm just sharing my opinion. I apologize if my opinion, upset you. But I really do wish you the best. And I hope you're more open to ideas because I'm open to ideas as well. That's why I've been able to change my perspective on these things, because I go, okay, I've been doing these things and yeah, they're not as optimal as something else. And I've tried to, again, put my ego aside and just move on to the next best thing that's going to be safe and effective and really effective. Like I'm saying, I want to find the most effective tools to use to get to the goals that I'm at, a means to an end. It's not about me. It's not about the tools I use. It's not about some guru. It's not about whatever. I'm willing to be open to these things. And I stand by pretty much everything that I said, maybe not the way that I said it, but I stand by these things because they're just basic physiological principles that, we could debate this stuff all day, but I'm not going to, all right? I'm not going to make, 30-minute videos on this stuff. I'm just going to say what I have to say. And again, I thank you for bringing some things to my attention, and I'm praying for you, man. I wish you the best, and I think that's all I got to say today.